We can do a little test run. Yeah, I'm in a bit of a strange spot right now. And I don't know where I stand. I'm not enjoying it very much. But I have to say, smoking a bit of weed and putting the dark side of a moon on certainly started the process of set me on the road to recovery. I feel a lot better. I mean, I've got a fucking heartache. It's so corny, especially coming out of the Tin Man. But it's basically I've got a heartache, and it's not much fun. But I'll work my way through it. And but I certainly don't feel confident now about the outcome of that particular storyline. I mean, I'll live, Jesus, but. Uh, But I'm very uncertain about it. And it is interesting, there's no question about it. It's very interesting that I really do feel that bad about it. And right now I am like kind of ignoring all the other stuff. It really is that way. Anyhow, but yeah, this is a really good one because I am very erudite. Now, the question is, can I be erudite speaking in a low voice, in a calm fashion? We all know that I can either, wave my arms around and yell. But that's not what I do. Actually, I was right from my house in that one the other night. The one with the about 9/11. God, man, 9/11 is well, actually, I might be wrong about that, of course. But it's still up there. It's still up there on. It's incredible. It's like as time goes by, the one factor that determines my judgment of the outcome is getting more and more obscure. It's very interesting. In this case, it's sort of, and it is difficult to keep track of it all. In this case, it was. In what case? What were we talking about? We weren't talking about Reggie. What the fuck were we talking about? Oh, the 9/11. God, that took a while. Um, oh yeah, sorry, but yeah, see, it's still up there. It's still up there. I think I'm right. I think I nailed it on that video. I really do. Um, you know, it's pretty. But it's no fun anymore. That's the bottom line because I've got a broken heart. Now I don't believe that they were actually trying to experiment. I don't think. I mean, it's possible, but I don't really have any evidence whatsoever to think that they might be doing, a number of different profiles on them. I don't, it's considering I thought I was just an insignificant little, well, not insignificant, yeah, I mean, just a middle-aged man getting older, living in the shadows, not particularly liking. Anyway, I don't think that this is a. I don't think one of their experiments is to see if they can empirically prove the existence of love. But I would fucking love it if it was, because that feeling that we had it was a feeling. I mean, it was like there was glows and there was so it'd be very interesting to see. But I don't believe that for a moment. I mean, because you couldn't plan it, so that's not it. So I do have to, anyhow, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, but it is interesting. Oh no, so the 9/11 thing. God, Jesus. I mean, the simple fact is, I was fucking right on the video. Oh, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. And in that particular instance, I don't ever even remember, I don't think, even mentioning that. So the way I guess they obfuscated it. I didn't notice that going on though. I mean, it was very clever. Um, well, because, actually I do know what they did. I know exactly what they did. Um, or what they could have done, I should say, what they could have done. Because right now I'm like, well, no, 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 right now I'm not. Oh, damn. I am correct. It's incredibly difficult to tell them apart, but there is one fact that makes all the difference. And the fact is that I now have a second scenario that does fit the fact. And, but more importantly than that is I have discovered the fatal flaw in the other version, the version that we've been asked to believe. And it didn't occur to me until 2 days ago, which is pretty remarkable because it's really obvious and it's really, really, really obvious. It's more obvious than, I don't know. And yet I didn't even think about it. I never thought about it until just now, just like 2 days ago. And that is exactly as I described. There is no way on God's green earth that the towers would not have been evacuated if what we saw play out is what happened. We knew that aerial, all that stuff, the situation was like critical the moment that the planes took off. And then, so there was an hour and a half. I mean, there was plenty of, and we knew that was the kind of plot that they were talking about. We knew that. Intelligence knew that. So thinking, when you consider all that, what do you think the chances are that with that, if that was a real attack, that if that was the Armageddon attack, the attack that we had been waiting for, it took an hour and a half to develop. You seriously think we wouldn't have had time? Well, they wouldn't have populated the buildings in the first place. But even if they did, and we were caught off guard, just like I said, we had scrambled the jets, and they were supposedly considering shooting the planes out of the sky, killing hundreds of people. But that shouldn't we, tracking them all? What do we do? That went on for half an hour. How long do you think it takes? I mean, it's not just unlikely. It's not just, oh, yeah, that's a bit crazy, isn't it? It is impossible. You have to be able to take those last couple of logical steps. That would have been, by not evacuating the buildings, which would have been taking one phone call, that would have been an act of mass murder by the American government on 3,000 American citizens. That is impossible. That did not happen. And unfortunately, that means the entire story just goes up in smoke. That's the way it works, folks. If you just consider that one fact, the fact that, why didn't they just evacuate the buildings? They knew they knew something was going on for like an hour and a half. Why didn't they evacuate the buildings? But then, I mean, don't feel bad. I didn't think of it until day before yesterday as well, or yesterday, whenever it was. And I'm going to have a long hard think about that, about how they managed to keep me, keep that, because that is That's the key. That is actually what is going to expose what happened on 9/11. And by the way, what happened on 9/11 was fantastic. I mean, it was a brilliant bit of deception that set up, trust me, these are the revealing of skeletons. But that, think about it. I would like you to think about that one fact. It's not just, I'm not going to just say there's no way in the million. It's more than that. That would have been a willful act of slaughter by the American government, when in fact my version is a hell of a lot better. So they're going to choose the slaughtering 3,000 Americans, are they? That's not just unlikely. Well, it is just unlikely. Clearly, it's a hypothetical. But you can call that a fact. That for that to have happened is impossible. And unfortunately, the only alternative to that phone call not being made was my version, where the phone call does get made. That's a slightly happier ending. But, you know, we're there. I mean, they haven't revealed it, but that fact, I mean, so that's 9/11 anyway. And how great is that? And that's 100%. And that is why, of course, they had the accompanying, chorus of, well, making all these announcements about, oh yeah, we're going to make sure we keep all these 9/11 conspiracy videos off of YouTube because it's really damaging at Harvard and spreading this hurtful stuff. And that announcement came the day after I put mine up there. Mine is actually called 9/11, an alternative version. It might as well be called Conspiracy Danger. It's not exactly hiding, and it's still up there. I mean, what the hell? What does that tell you? If you don't, I mean, what? The very least, that literally means that, again, as I said in my video that I put up the other day, that I'm correct, and in fact, we now have two scenarios. The very least, because mine is clearly not a conspiracy anymore because it's still up on YouTube, and like I said, that given the fact that they didn't evacuate the buildings. I'm sorry, folks, and yeah, that's pretty bizarre because we actually smashed down those buildings. But hey, there's going to be a lot of other crazy stuff as well. So anyway, let's look forward to. But you know, think about it. Think about it. I mean, you could actually put that in the bank now.